A very good evening and welcome to the Week in 30 Minutes. The English News Department has prepared a variety of reports for you this evening that highlight the main events that have recently taken place throughout the state of Kuwait. Our committed team of correspondents has kept busy on the streets of Kuwait covering important events, namely local issues that are trending in the country.
Today's episode will take us to a mosaic of events, including the topics of sports, musical, and culture. We get a chance to see a report by the National Council for Culture, Arts, and Letters, who sponsored a children and youth exhibition as part of the 16th Children's Cultural Festival. We'll also get a chance to view a report that addresses the history of the Kuwaiti currency. More reports are coming your way, so let's dive right in.
From the Sahara Golf Club, this is Sarah Club.
From the Radisson Blue, I'm Gemma Jaburi.
From the Sahel Club, this is Salim Kandiri.
From the Scientific Center, this is Heba Abdurrahman.
I'm Badriya Saleh, reporting for The Week in 30 Minutes.
Our first report today comes from correspondent Ghanwa Jabouri and will showcase the artistic abilities of children and the youth in painting, drawing, and sketching. The Khalifa Al Gattan 8th Children and Youth Fine Arts Exhibition was recently inaugurated by the Assistant Secretary General of Kuwait's National Council for Culture, Arts and Letters, Mr. Badr Ledwish, at the Abdulaziz Al Hussein Cultural Center in Mishraf. The exhibition further honored the late prominent artist Khalifa Al Gattan, whose work continues to inspire people who cross paths with his work.
The Khalifa Gattan Children Exhibition witnessed 100 children ranging from the ages of 4 to 14 use their talent by drawing paintings that signify creativity and sentiment. The paintings demonstrated that all participants possess a rich imagination, though their work extends beyond just having a rich and colourful imagination, as all paintings beautifully addressed a cultural and social story which each and every participant artistically conveyed.
It is the idea of my daughter. When her father died, she wanted to commemorate his name. And Khalifa did like very much the children, children. Always he tried to encourage a younger generation. And so every year she was doing this kind, for 3 days she make a workshop. She gave children a present, and after we choose from 4-year-old to 14-year-old the best work.
This is a good experience for us to have an opening for the exhibition for kids. This exhibition become as a product of what's happened during the workshop which we did for around 3 days. A lot of kids participate in this workshop, and we got this exhibition, which is one of our goals in the National Council, to encourage our kids to participate their own hobbies and to discover their own products through the fine arts. We are proud of this experience, and we would like to continue on that, and we are happy to connect this exhibition with the name of Khalifa Al Gattan as one of the most important Kuwaiti artists.
Some of the creative works on display, for example, hold intriguing titles that the participants thought of, such as A Beautiful Family, The Girl in the Garden, King of the Forest, Friendship, Family House, Earthquake Pain, The Flower of Life, Secrets of a Woman, Tinkerbell, Proud to be Kuwaiti, Dove of Peace, Amazing Kuwait, The Horseman Who Will Save the Princess, Healthy Mind in a Healthy Body, and Old Indian Theatre.
what we're doing here actually is to honor him because he passed away in 2003 and we didn't want his memory just to go by without, being noticed. So what I did is I decided to make an exhibition for the children because he loved kids, and he opened several exhibitions for children. So what we did is we did a workshop to collect children's artwork, and then we did an exhibition for them. And year after year, we started to have more children that came in. So we had to limit the amount of winning artwork to 100 because we're against competition. We don't like first and second and third. So we, out of the 200 or 300 or 400 or 600, one time in the Avenue we had 600 kids, we can only choose 100. We have a panel of artists, and they are the judges who will choose the best out of each age category, from the best of the 4-year-old, the best of the etc.
That's my daddy, that's my mommy, that's my sister, that's me, that's my sister, that's my brother.
The participants have been working on the paintings since February 2014, inspired by a team of creative leaders who understand and appreciate art. As part of the 16th Children's Cultural Festival, the beautiful paintings of 100 young artists are on display that all depict a wonderful, rich and little story. From Abdulaziz Hussein Cultural Centre, Mishref, I'm Genwa Jaburi, reporting to you for the week in 30 minutes.
It's amazing what children can do when you give them the opportunity to be creative, Badriya.
Absolutely, it's very encouraging to see a chance for them like that to express themselves creatively, and as we could tell, they seemed very enthusiastic standing under their pieces of work, smiling.
We need to cover more of their issues.
What a good thing to encourage, absolutely. Well, moving on to another part of Mishrif, our next report comes from the UN House. In an attempt to improve the collaborative efforts on a humanitarian level, the International Organization for Migration, or IOM, and the International Islamic Charitable Organization, IICO, recently signed a cooperation agreement. The agreement was signed by Dr. Abdullah Mutawak, the chairman of the IICO, and Mrs. Iman Irqaq, the head of the IOM mission in Kuwait. The occasion took place at the UN House in Mishrif, and our correspondent Heba Abdurrahman was there to bring us this report.
The International Organization for Migration, IOM, and the International Islamic Charitable Organization, IICO, signed a cooperation agreement to enhance the collaboration between the two bodies in the field of humanitarian, educational, and social efforts. Dr. Abdullah Al-Ma'tuq, the head of the IICO, praised the agreement, saying that it's considered an important step in boosting the humanitarian efforts.
We were pleased. We had the honor to sign a cooperation agreement today with the IICO, the International Islamic Charitable Organization in Kuwait, with the International Organization for Migration. This cooperation agreement actually will emphasize on building capacity of the workers, all the workers works in the IICO, and share our international standard expertise with the MCOF, which is the IOM migration operation for emergencies, which we already implemented during the Libya crisis, which ensured that it was very effective and helped more than 270,000 laborers were stranded in the borders of Libya. Also, the agreement which we signed today will enhance and build the capacity of the workers through lots of joint projects like awareness campaigns towards human rights, counter-trafficking, and also to train the workers in the IICO on field trips. We'll take them to field trips on our offices in the region because, as you may know, IOM had more than 480 offices around the world in more than 170 countries. And we have, for the Syrian crisis. We have field offices inside Syria and field offices all the neighboring countries. So we will share our international experience with the workers in the IICO to benefit them during the relief aid, inshallah.
The agreement aims at strengthening and enhancing the efforts that are exerted in the humanitarian and social fields to help and aid the displaced people in and out the affected states. This agreement came as part of the series of agreements and referendums that the IOM has signed recently with different local and international organizations and entities to improve its efforts, especially during the crisis that struck many countries in the present time. Signing this cooperation agreement between the International Islamic Charitable Organization, or the IICO, and the International Organization for Migration, IOM, paves the way for more agreements and cooperation in the field of social and humanitarian efforts. From the UN House in Mishref area, this is Heba Abdurrahman reporting for the Week in 30 Minutes.
Correspondents Sarah Glub will introduce us to the next report, which discusses the history of the Kuwaiti currency and the objective of the newly released banknotes. The design of the new issue was to guarantee first-rate quality, security measures, and aesthetic appeal. The new currency availed the opportunity to commemorate Kuwait's many accomplishments, its citizens' uplifting spirit, and other national aspects.
There have been 6 issues of the Kuwaiti currency since the introduction of the state's legal tender in 1961. They were released throughout the decades, being influenced by various factors such as trade, business, war, or counterfeiting and security issues.
From an historic perspective, banknotes and coins have been in circulation in Kuwait since more than 200 years before BC. Evidence of this has been substantiated with the discovery of silver and copper coins from the era of Alexander the Great on Failaka Island. Then in 1790 came the Austrian rial, which became the trading currency. Several other coins passed through Kuwait, such as the Persian currency, the Ottoman gold lira. And then finally, when the natives developed their businesses, sailing to far countries such as India and expanding the craft of pearl diving, the Indian rupee became the dominant currency.
The new issue, which is the 6th issue, has the Kuwaiti flag as its base. And it has incorporated most of the iconic sites within Kuwait just to show the development that has taken place, and also to show how the people of Kuwait are proud of their also heritage. So the banknote on one side reflects the history and the traditions and the culture, and on the other side it shows most of the developments that took place by showing the iconic buildings and sites within Kuwait. No, we maintained exactly, so they are exactly the same denominations. We also maintained the same size. So we're still talking about 20, 10, 5, 1 dinar, half, and a quarter.
However, the Kuwaitis were aware of the necessity to issue their own national currency that was set to international standards. Thereby, on October 10, 1960, an Emiri decree was issued declaring that the dinar will be the basic denomination of the Kuwaiti currency, and accordingly, the Kuwaiti Monetary Council was set up. In April the same year, the Kuwaiti dinar was officially released into circulation. Back then, the denominations were divided into 5, including the 10 dinar, the 5 dinar, 1 dinar, half, and quarter. And they bore miniature pictures of the late rulers of the state of Kuwait, along with key national facilities such as Al Shuwaykh High School, a major cement factory, and Kuwait's port.
The Central Bank of Kuwait decided the launch to be on the 29th to coincide with the beginning of the holy month of Ramadan. Also the Eid al-Adha and the Eid season. That's specifically why we selected 29th of June. Yeah. Central Bank of Kuwait will supply new banknotes for the Eid al-Fitr and also to Eid al-Adha. We already we organized this with the banks, so everything will be as usual. People will get new banknotes for the Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, inshallah.
The second edition of the Kuwaiti currency was released into circulation on November 17, 1970, and the third on February 20, 1980. Following the 1990 Iraqi invasion of Kuwait, the Kuwaiti authorities declared the Kuwaiti money in circulation as invalid, replacing the monetary units with the fourth edition of the Kuwaiti bills. The fifth issuance of the Kuwaiti currency was launched on April 3, 1994, with features designed to make counterfeiting impossible. The sixth edition of the Kuwaiti currency was released into circulation by the Central Bank of Kuwait on the 29th of June 2014. However, its usage will run in parallel with the fifth issuance until an official withdrawal date is announced by the central bank's authorities. The first ever Kuwaiti dinar was released into circulation in 1961, and now 53 years later and 5 different currency note editions, and the Central Bank of Kuwait has released the 6th issue, which has immensely evolved to include the most high-level, sophisticated and security features. From the Central Bank of Kuwait, this is Sarah Glow reporting for the Week in 30 Minutes.
The new banknotes have been in circulation for about 2 months now. What struck you most about them, Badriya?
Oh, probably how thick they are and the purple of the 5 bill. That was pretty impressive.
I was confused a little bit between the 1 and the 5 because the colors are quite similar, so you have to pay attention to the number.
It'll just take some getting used to, but they're pretty impressive. Well, our next report comes from the Ministry of Awqaf and Islamic Affairs and is brought to us by correspondent Salim Al-Kindiri. Under the sponsorship of the Assistant Undersecretary for Quran and Islamic Studies of the Ministry of Awqaf and Islamic Affairs, Mr. Abdullah Barak, the Siraj Al-Munir Management organized its annual educational aid exhibition at the Grand Mosque.
The 8th edition received a large number of participating teachers who competed for the best educational techniques and tools that are used to aid students in learning. Let's watch.
Head of Siraj Al-Munir Management, Mr. Abdullah Al-Kindiri, opened the 8th edition of the annual educational support exhibition with large participation from teachers and spectators.
We have today events for educational tools, techniques. These techniques we are using, or teachers use them in the class to reach the information to the students. Today we have like a contest between our centers. We have 11 centers for people and 13 centers for girls.
The event about annual exhibit for the Siraj Al-Munir, to show what they can do it for improve the education in the best way. And I'm really happy to show what they do here. It's like it's really very nice to see what they do inside, and I'm excited to see what they can do what can they do to improve himself and the Siraj and all the Siraj centers in Kuwait.
I am quite excited actually. I was very, very surprised to see such an exciting educational exhibition. This is something that is quite important for us, especially for minorities, that come from different countries across the globe. An event like that, I think, brings with it incredible amount of resources and education that is very useful for people who don't have the kind of access that countries such as Kuwait has. So it's incredibly useful and very exciting to be able to take back some of those resources for people to use back home in Australia, where they are teaching Muslim children within Islamic schools and general educational context. So it's very exciting.
The exhibition included educational methods and innovations that support delivering the information to learners and make the curriculum more interesting. The Ministry of Awqaf and Islamic Affairs had organized this exhibition to showcase the competition and contest between teachers, that the use of the tools and educational techniques to deliver information for students. From Grand Mosque, this is Salim Kendiri reporting for the week in 30 minutes.
From the Sahara Golf Club, this is Sarah Club. From the Radisson Blue, I'm Gemma Jaburi.
From Al Sahel Club, this is Salim Kendiri.
From the Scientific Center, this is Hiba Abdurrahman.
I'm Batriya Saleh, reporting for the week in 30 minutes.
Thank you, Salim, for that report. Up next, the first international briefing meeting on the link between diabetes and tuberculosis, or TB, in the Gulf was recently held at Dasman Diabetes Institute.
The two-day event was organized in collaboration with the International Center for Migration, Health and Development, known as the ICMHD. Hiba Abdurrahman was there and brings us this report.
The Dasman Diabetes Institute, or the DDI, in collaboration with the International Center for Migration, Health and Development, known as ICMHD, held their first international meeting to discuss the link between diabetes and TB in the Gulf region. The meeting aimed to sensitize health professionals towards this link and to promote a better awareness of the steps that are needed in terms of research, screening, diagnosis and treatment.
I don't need to dwell on the importance of this meeting. You're all familiar with the immense challenges the world is facing with respect to diabetes. Kuwait is among the most seriously affected countries, and our national health authorities are giving the prevention and treatment of diabetes their highest priority. The establishment of Dasman Diabetes Institute is a testimony to this and to our commitment to making sure that Kuwaiti's response to diabetes epidemic is a solid and scientific-based one.
This event is to look at the association between TB and diabetes. It's been shown in many other parts of the world that diabetes increases the risk of getting active TB disease, tuberculosis disease, by about threefold. So that's a very sizable, very large, strong association between TB and diabetes. That means WHO guidelines now recommend screening or TB patients for diabetes, and in some settings it may be of benefit to screen diabetes patients, at least with symptoms, for active TB as well, to screen and treat. So the association has a lot of implications for screening and also for enhanced treatment. It may be, for example, that improved glycemic control amongst TB patients with diabetes would improve TB treatment outcomes and also diabetes outcomes as well.
Diabetes has become one of the most serious and widespread diseases in the world, and TB is rapidly re-emerging in many countries. It has long been known that a psychological link between TB and diabetes exists. However, it was not until recently that this link was recognized as a serious public health issue. From Dasman Diabetes Institute, this is Hiba Abdurrahman reporting for the week in 30 minutes.
Diabetes is a common health problem in Kuwait. A lot of people suffer from it, Badriya.
Yes, it's nice to see people spreading awareness and educating themselves to tackle this very serious disease. What a great report. Thanks, Hiba. Well, our next report takes us to Kuwait Writers Association, who recently concluded its cultural session for the year 2013-2014.
The ceremony took place at its headquarters in Adeliya. Writers and observers from Kuwait's cultural movement attended this special event. The association is expected to take a short break as it prepares for the next regular season, which begins in September. Sarah Glub was there and has this report.
Kuwait Writers Association hosted a ceremony to mark the end of its cultural season for the year 2013-2014, honoring the individuals and agencies that participated in their cultural activities and marking the anniversary of their founding half a century ago.
A few weeks ago, we were celebrating the 50th anniversary of the establishment of Kuwait Writers Association, and today we are celebrating the end of the season, of the cultural season. I really hope everybody enjoy being here. It's a good chance to show the people and the media what we have achieved this year, how many people got the advantage of being members in the Kuwait Writers Association, and how many people enjoyed the activities that Kuwait Writers Association provide. And I hope we can do the same next year.
The association also expressed gratitude to everyone who has been credited to the success of the season, which featured several literary activities, including cultural lectures, poetry evenings, literary courses, new publications, and book fairs.
On behalf of the chairman of this society, I'm very glad to talk in this occasion. We have 50 years now since this club established, and we take care of all the movement, literature, and the new books, and everything is new according to culture of the society. There now we are making this festival for 50 years old since this society has established, and I would like to send all regards to the audience of Kuwait TV, and I'm also very glad to talk to them on this occasion. And at the end of this talk, I hope we will have a very great occasions to keep ourselves in front of many things in Kuwait society and Kuwait state.
However, this is not the last we will see of the association till September, as the Guild is active throughout the summer and it organizes its annual and prominent international book fair during the holy Muslim fasting month of Ramadan. Kuwait Writers Association has concluded their 2013-2014 cultural season with this elegant and sophisticated ceremony, and it truly has been a great year for the association, as only a month ago it marked the golden jubilee of its establishment. From Kuwait Writers Association, this is Sarah Glub reporting for the Week in 30 Minutes.
From the Sahara Golf Club, this is Sarah Glub.
From the Radisson Blue, I'm Gemma Jabiri.
From Al-Sahel Club, this is Salim Kandiri.
From the Scientific Center, this is Hiba Abdurrahman.
I'm Badriya Saleh, reporting for the Week in 30 Minutes.
Well, that brings us to the close of tonight's episode of The Week in 30 Minutes. We hope to see you again same time next week. Our highly dedicated team of correspondents is constantly out on the field searching for reports that matter most to you. We look forward to receiving your feedback on stories we covered today and are ready to cover issues that are of special interest to you, so please email us your suggestions at moikuwaitnews@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on Twitter at MOI Kuwait News and on Facebook also at MOI Kuwait News. And of course, if you'd like to watch our reports once again, you can visit our YouTube channel at, again, MOI Kuwait News. Thank you for joining us tonight and hope to see you again next week with more exclusive reports. Have a good night.
Good night.
هنا الكويت